Hey guys, Steve Welch here, Beaman Toyota in downtown Nashville. Just coming to you because I'm kind of seeing some things that are coming to light from what I talked about on one of my previous. I was talking about prices going up on vehicles, or at least discounts getting less on vehicles, and inventory crunch is starting to be an issue. So I know the plants are back up, but the thing is you've got dealerships that have 10%, maybe 15 or 20% of what they normally carry. So that's all true. So I mean, I'm just going to show you just our down lot here. Normally, I'll kind of point out, normally that whole line right there is full of cars. This whole line right here is normally full of cars. This whole line, which we've got some here, but that's obviously normally full of cars. You know, this right here, normally, I mean, we had 4Runners here not too long ago. You can see all the parking spots, they're empty. All right. So, and we're getting trucks in. So Toyota's trying to replenish us, but they're not able to keep up with what we're doing. So you look up here, this center area right here, this, I know I'm focusing issues, but if you look right here, that's normally got a whole row. We'd normally put RAV4s right there. So realistically, I'm just trying to show you guys that I wasn't wrong on this. So that right there, you see that center line of cars that's right in the middle right here? That's normally 4 rows back to back, and another row that comes down right there. So that's normally what you'll see when we're stocked up completely on cars. But and it's normally all new cars, but those are some used cars that are over there. You see the used Corollas up on the back there, a couple of used minivans. So you got new 4Runners over there, a couple of Tundras. I mean, we're just, when it comes down to it, I mean, we're looking at inventories and seeing what people have. We have more than pretty much anybody else that we're looking at. I mean, when it comes to RAV4s and stuff, I'm seeing people out there that have 1 or 2 RAV4s. You know, Highlanders, 1 or 2 Highlanders. So when you're talking about what you're seeing, and what's going to happen is it's going to come into this major supply and demand thing. So I've just had somebody, and this is something that I hadn't really thought of until I had a customer ask me this question. He said he was asking about prices, right? And the discounts are drying up. All right, so we're not doing what some of these dealerships are doing and marking them up. First off, I'll tell you that I saw a local dealership that had a Camry that had a sticker price of $27,000 on the Camry, and a customer had texted me and said, hey, can you get me a car like this at a better price? And I got to looking at it, that it had an MSRP at $27,000, but the dealership showed the customer $29,800 and then told him he was getting a $1,000 discount because they marked it up over sticker. So they switched it from what the sticker price was going to be to their new sticker price, and they added an addendum to it for lack of inventory. So a lot of these car dealerships now are going to start adding these addendums because they don't have enough inventory to sell to, I mean, I guess you can say, keep the lights on. So back to what my customer had asked me, he goes, well, I'll probably just wait until the end of the model year where I can get the discounts at the end of the model year. Well, keep in mind, they haven't been producing cars for 2 months. So all these cars, like I said, I've heard a stat on the Highlanders that they normally produce 700 a shift. Well, that's a shift. So you got, 2 shifts, there's 1,400 a day. I mean, 10 days. I mean, you start adding up, how many cars have they not produced to have discounts on to get rid of? To have your end of the year clearance sale. And mark my words, I was right the first time on one that I did about a month ago where I told you this was going to happen, where we're going to run out of inventory and they were going to start to have these dealerships that were going to start doing this, where they're going to start charging over sticker or just not discounting off of sticker. That is something that I'm just being, and I'll turn around on me here, but I'm just being honest with you and showing you that they are definitely, like I said, Toyota's trying. They're up. I'm sure all the other manufacturers are the same way. Their factories are back working again. So if that's the case, you've got a few, that are coming in but I think we had 2 trucks come in today. It's about 20 cars that came in, and we've sold about as many. So it hasn't really put a dent in where we're down. So if you kind of look at what you're doing with other manufacturers, I'm sure it's the same way. So you're expecting to get this end of the year deal and to get these great incentives at the end of the year. Be quite honest, I mean, I don't know that it's really going to happen that way. I mean, there's no need to have a clearance sale when you can't get the inventory, you can't get things in. So I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to clearance out stuff that you don't have? There's no point in doing that. So, like I said, you can see I'm walking right. There's normally RAV4s right here. Siennas. We'll put Siennas on the end of this line. Normally we'll have 10, 15 Siennas down at the end of this line right where I'm at right now. They're just not here. Normally we put 4Runners over there. They've got Corollas there right now. So just, and then up here, normally on that fence line right there, normally that would be new cars. Got used cars up there. So we're beefing up our used car inventory, but here's the thing, so is everybody else. So what's going to happen on used car inventory? Prices are going to go up. What's going to happen on new car inventory? Prices are going to go up. Or at least, like I said, discounts won't be as available. So that being said, I mean, we're just kind of looking at the I don't even want to say the beginnings of this, because this is the middle. So hopefully Toyota and the other manufacturers can get ramped up and get working again and get everything humping and on trucks and heading to us. But to be realistic, I mean, you've got, I don't even know how many dealerships that Toyota, has, or that GM has, or that Chrysler has. I don't know how many dealerships they have, but you got to figure that every dealership's kind of in the same situation. It's going to take a while for them to get everything back up. Now, that being said, like I said, they are back in production, but even, Toyota and these other manufacturers, they've all said we're not going to be back up to 100%, maybe not ever, but at least not initially. So going back to the Highlander example, they normally produce 700 per shift, and the first day that they were back, they produced 60. Not 60 per shift, but 60. So now don't get me wrong, they're going to get their production under their legs. They're going to get, people get used to the new normal, as they call it. People are going to get used to exactly how they build cars in this new age, with social distancing and all that. So you're going to have things that change and things that you get used to, like anything else. Nobody ever goes into a brand new job and is 100% proficient on day one. There's a learning curve. Well, you're going into what you know how to do, so there's not as big of a learning curve, but you got to do it in a different way. So you're going to stumble, you're going to trip, you're going to slow down, and I know that all these manufacturers are probably slowing down their lines just in anticipation of that, and you can't have as many people on the line doing the same thing, so you got to have the line slowed. I know all this stuff. It makes sense that that's what's going to happen. So that being said, can you produce the same amount of vehicles to take care of the same amount of people? Probably not. Now, I've had other people say, well, there's not as many people buying cars. Realistically, that's true, but there's a lot more than you probably think. So, like I said, all of this, before the coronavirus hit, all of this was covered. This was all brand new cars. All of this had a lot of vehicles in there, but then what happened? They shut down the factories for 8 weeks, but the dealerships, at least the majority of them, did not shut down. So we kept selling cars. And like in Nashville, we had the tornadoes hit at the beginning of March, that we were still, people still buying cars with their insurance checks and getting their new cars that way and their used cars that way. And, there's, those needs, people that have wrecks and people that just, their car wears out. There's always a need for a new vehicle, or a used vehicle. So that being said, that need didn't go away. Now, some people might have delayed it a little bit, and maybe they're, ready to come out of the woodwork, but let's assume that happens and people come out of the woodwork and go, all right, well, my job's secure and I'm good to go, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go out and I'm going to start looking for a car now that most of these states are lifting these quarantines. And I'm going to go and I'm going to get me a car. And you walk to the lot and you go, where'd all the cars go? I want to find a RAV4, but you don't have one in gray, or you don't have one in red. And you got all these people that are, saying, well, can you get me one? And normally a dealership would say, yes, I can get you one. I can locate you one. I'll find you one and I'll get it here. Problem is, a lot of the dealerships are saying no. So when it comes down to, can I get you one? The answer is, well, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe I can get you one. Maybe I can't. I'm not positive on whether or not I can actually get you a vehicle. So you tell me. So anyway, I'm kind of ranting here, but like I said, it was in response to what somebody said, and it just kind of made me think that, you're not going to have all these vehicles on clearance. You're not going to have these end of the year deals, these end of the model year deals, because realistically, they haven't made the inventory to need to do them. So if you see some really good incentives, it's going to be few and far between. So I'm just being honest with you. I just don't see it happening. I've been doing this long enough that I can understand what's going on, because you can't sell as many, you can't make as much. So if you sell a lot, then you can have a little bit better incentives. So I just don't see it happening. So definitely let me know what you think. Put it in the comments, of course. Like and subscribe. I definitely appreciate all of you guys. I'm just here, like I said, this is my opinion. It's based on fact. It's based on what I know, but it's 100% my opinion. Not trying to speak for any manufacturer, of course, or anything like that. But I'm just kind of noticing what I noticed with my eyes, and I wanted to show you our bottom lot here so that you can kind of notice the same thing and realize that we're one of the largest when it comes to volume for Toyota. So if that tells you something, it makes you wonder what these mom and pops that normally have 50 or 60 cars on their lots, when we normally have 1,200, it makes me wonder what they're doing, and I can look at it and I can tell you they don't have the inventory. So just be forewarned, you're probably not going to get the end of the year deals on those vehicles. But Steve Welch, Beaman Toyota, let me know if I can help you. Send me an email, buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. That's my dedicated email for this channel, buyatoyotanashville.com, or buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com. Steve Welch, Beaman Toyota. I hope you guys have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you guys soon.